As I stated in my previous review, the Disney buyout was a weird time for the Star Wars canon when we got the new canon, because a lot of things happened. We had 4 books announced and two ongoing comic series as well as a mini series, and overall they were not well received. Specifically, the first 2 novels aired. A New Dawn and Tarkin debuted very low on New York Times, but this did better, and I think it's because it has Luke Skywalker on the cover. This is Heir of the Jedi by Kevin Hearn, and in this book, first-person account, Luke goes on a series of missions with a possible love interest, and it goes the way. Screw it. This book doesn't really have a plot. I'm not going to try to explain it. There's times when it has a plot. And then there's other times where they digress from the plot so Luke can learn the Force. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with this. This is the new canon's approach to Luke learning to be a Jedi. Is these digressions he goes on that don't really have any ramifications. But this is just awful. This is a first-person account from Luke's perspective. And sometimes it feels like the Luke who blew up the Death Star. And sometimes it feels like a complete whiny stranger that you don't want to know about, that you don't care about. Heir of the Jedi is one of the worst Star Wars books I've ever read. And that is the popular opinion. Although this did better on the New York Times bestseller list, it did not do nearly as well as something like Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp. A significantly better book, not a great book, but a better book than this. This is a dud. A big, steaming pile of fecal matter. Dud. It's one of the worst stories I ever read. In it, the overall plot, as I got from it, is Luke's trying to rescue a slicer who's under Imperial arrest, and he and his girlfriend, who's completely forgettable, go out and rescue her. But they also survey a potential planet, and it turns into a really gross horror movie for a little while with these bugs that drill into your brain, and it's really graphic. Then they end up going back on plot, and then Luke's using the Force to move noodles around, and Luke's using his lightsaber as a flashlight, and it's just things happen. It's the book. You should have just called it Things That Happen to a Kind of Jedi. That'd be a better title. I don't know why it was called Heir of the Jedi, except for Luke is the heir to the Jedi. He's the last hope for the Jedi. But still, it's a weird title. Sometimes you wonder what people were thinking. And here's what I'm thinking. This was a totally different story that was slated to be the 3rd part of a trilogy of books released in the expanded universe under Legends. Those being Razor's Edge and Honor Among Thieves, 2 of the last books ever written for Legends. When the Disney buyout happened, this book was not written yet. It probably had a different author. In fact, I've heard accounts that was the case, but I can't verify that. So, you get this story, and it's like, it has to be Luke, and it has to be before A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Write whatever you want. And they did, and they didn't like that. So they kept some of it. And they told him to rewrite. So Kevin Hearn rewrites it again. And over and over until you get this disjointed first-person account, Dear Diary garbage. And that's what it is. It's truly trash. Is it the worst of the new canon? No. It's not even the worst that came out that year. Aftermath takes the cake for that. But this is a real close second. It's just bafflingly, incompetently written. Ugh. It's just a bad read. And it's a shame. I wanted to read a good Luke story. After The Last Jedi and how they treated Luke's character in that, I went to this and I'm like, well, everyone says it's bad. Maybe I can pull something good from this. No. No. I had to wait to read another Luke story from the same timeline called Weapon of the Jedi by Jason Fry that was significantly better but wasn't great. And that's what we'll be reviewing next time. But overall, this book gets a 1 out of 5. I think I gave Aftermath a 0 out of 5, so I'll give this a star. It gets a star because it wasn't Aftermath. That's the only reason it gets a star. This book's awful. Don't read it. Don't listen to the audiobook. Just avoid this one. No ramifications for the new canon at all. So, anyway, have a nice day.